What's up, guys? It's your favorite QB coach, and give me 6 months of your time, and I'll give you the best golf swing of your life. So welcome back to the channel. In this particular video, we're going to be doing a swing analysis of Chan Kim. He's a player on the JGTO Tour, and he's one of the best. I think he's ranked #1 on the money rankings. So if you guys are interested in Chan Kim's golf swing, well, this is the video for you, and let's go ahead and hop in. But before we get into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, and that is Kiwi Golf Japan. If you're too busy or you just can't make it out to our locations for lessons, Kiwi Golf Japan is the membership site for you. With 200 plus videos of golf instruction, we have everything on the site you could possibly want. So go ahead and check out that link down below, and now let's get into the video. So to preface this video, I want to make it very clear that this swing was from 2019 at Pebble Beach, and it's not his 2021 swing. So I'm sure from 2019 to 2021, him and his coach or whoever he works with, or even if he works by himself, I'm sure he's made some changes to this point. So that being in mind, be very careful in the comment section. I've made the forewarning, so don't give me crap because I understand this is not his recent swing. Second, because I don't know his coach or whoever is helping him out, I don't really know what they're currently working on. So this is just my personal opinion. In no means is it to be, I think whatever they're working on is bad. This is just really what I see that I think is wrong with his golf swing, my personal opinion on what I would personally change if I were teaching him, right? That's kind of the main emphasis of the video. So now that we got that disclaimer out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the iron swing first. I'm gonna play it through once so you can kind of see what's going on. I'm gonna try to get into the root cause first of what I really think is wrong with the swing, and then go over all the little outside points that I think that would also make the root cause a lot easier to fix. So this is gonna be his iron swing right now. All right, there you go. So getting into the root cause of his swing, I really think it's his pressure distribution placement in the feet throughout most of the downswing. So what we're gonna find is as he starts the transition, pretty much all of his pressure is starting to work back towards the heels throughout most of the downswing. And you can kind of visibly see that by his whole body kind of shifting backwards away from the golf ball as he starts the transition here. And then also you can see it really clearly right around here by the amount that the right shoulder has already started to dip, right? So this is a telltale sign that pressure is working back towards the heels. And then from this position, he kind of stays out on the heels, right? We're seeing that the butt is pretty far away from the heels, right? Another good indicator that the pressure is out there in the heels already too much. And then as he starts to approach the golf ball, he's slightly underneath the plane. He really starts to extend. And then from here, actually, overall, he has a pretty low rate of closure from, compared to what most people would do from that position. But I still think the amount of closure is a little bit too much. And I'm sure on his bad swings, it really gets flippy when he starts to kind of move through the ball. So that would be kind of the root issue, and the main thing that you would want to be changing with this particular player is we got to change the overall pressure movement in the downswing. We got to get it away from the heels and try to get it a little bit more out towards the balls of the feet for most of the downswing, and then we can move it into the heels more so towards the follow through, right? So we don't want to be immediately pushing it towards the heels right in transition. That's the main thing that should change. Now, to do that, I think the first place to start would really just be changing the overall shaping of the hand path. I think that'd be a great place to start. So one of the things I currently see in his golf swing is he has a little bit of a unique shape with what the hands are doing. So on the backswing, he has the pretty classic shape of where the hands are kind of moving inside early, so they're kind of looping in. And then towards the top of the swing, we actually see the hand path start to move out towards the head as he starts to approach the top of the swing, right? And you can clearly see that through the hand path circles that I've created here. Now, the interesting point is most people would continue to move out towards the golf ball in transition, but that's actually not what he does. He actually almost mirrors his hand path that he had on the backswing on the downswing. And albeit this is not the correct hand path that you want on the downswing, it's still at least a lot better than moving the hands too far out towards the golf ball, which again would be probably the worst thing you could do from this position. So he's slightly recovering because of this. However, the overall shaping of the hand path I think is also encouraging him to want to be pushing that pressure back towards the golf ball. So I personally think that we could get a little bit of a domino effect if we change the shaping of the hand path, which I want to go ahead and show you that right now. So from position 2, I'm going to highlight this in the green arrows. I think we should try to work on a hand path that would be a little bit more this way. And then as he starts to approach the top of the swing, the feeling would be arcing off the hands more so in this direction. So obviously that's a lot different than what he's currently doing, where he's moving in and towards the head. But I think the overall feeling of these green circles is going to result in a real swing to where the hands are just kind of moving diagonally up towards the top. And I think that's going to get his pressure displacement a little bit better at the top of the swing, probably a little bit less out towards the toes. And then from there, he's probably going to not want to move so much into the heels on the downswing, right? So we're hoping we can get a little bit of a domino effect if we were able to do something on those lines. Now, I also think the club shaft movement overall could also be a whole lot better. Now, this isn't necessarily going to fix his pressure distribution. It potentially could. I've seen it do it before, but it really kind of depends on the person. But more so, it's important to change the club shaft movement to get the club shaft a little bit less underneath the plane at P6. And then ultimately he can cover the ball a little bit better or be a little bit more on top of the plane, which is more so what you're trying to do with irons. You're not trying to be so far underneath the plane like he currently is at P6. So to do that, at this position right here, P2.5, we'd want to see the club shaft a lot more vertical, so a little bit more towards the top of the forearm. And then as we start to get to position 3, we're going to see that the club shaft should be mirroring where it was at P2.5, or if anything, maybe slightly flatter, but for the most part, pretty close to mirroring it. And then as we start to get up towards the top of the swing, this is where basically it should either be mirroring or maybe a little bit flattening is also okay. But the main thing is the overall shape of the club shaft movement would be a whole lot different than what it currently is. And I didn't draw the lines, but let me do that really quick. As you can kind of see, the club shaft movement currently is it's really going from a flat position to a more vertical position as it starts to approach the top of the swing. And as you guys will know, that typically leads to players getting underneath the plane at position 6. Now, not all the time, right? You don't have to get underneath the plane if you do this, but I'm just saying it typically leads to that, because what most people will start to do now on the downswing is they're going to start to consistently flatten the club shaft. The issue is because they're crossed at the top, at position 5, the club shaft typically is not flat enough. So what you're going to find is the player will want to consistently flatten all the way down into impact, which you can see quite clearly here with these white lines. And then we're going to basically get underneath the plane at P6, which you can see right here. So I think with the combination of the different shape of hand path and the club shaft movement, first off, he's going to probably have a lot less of a tendency to move back towards the heels without pressure, which is the main issue. And then second off, once he starts to get into P6, we're going to find that the club head should align to the center of mass of the hands a lot better, and he's going to be a little bit more on top of the plane. Now, we recently did a round lesson with Natsuki Otano, and she actually had a little bit of a similar issue with the knee movement where she was kind of pushing her pressure too far back towards the heels and getting the knees a little bit too flexed, getting that right knee right here to move out towards the ball a little bit too much. So another thing that we would probably work with this player if we were to coach him is try to get kind of the feeling. I'd probably do the same thing I did with Natsuki, put a club shaft right around here, just outside the toe line. And then throughout the backswing and the downswing, the goal is to obviously not try to break through that barrier. So most likely what that's going to get this player to do is get the knees a little bit taller throughout the backswing and the downswing. And then ultimately we can work on a feeling of trying to keep the chest a little bit lower and then the knees a little bit taller. That combination typically gets the player's overall tilts and bends to work a little bit more like it's on top of the plane as opposed to kind of moving away from the ball and falling away movement. And that should also encourage the club head to move out towards P6 a little bit more, get it aligned with the center mass of the hands, and then he should be a lot more on top of the plane from there. All right, so as we move into the driver, we pretty much see the same issue with the driver that we have with the irons. It's just a lot more exaggerated with the driver than it is the irons. All right, that's it for you guys on YouTube, but before you guys click off this video, let me give you some quick wrap-up points. So obviously this player is incredibly talented and playing very, very good golf currently. I think he's ranked #1 in the money rankings on the JGTO Tour in 2021. So is now the time to actually change the swing? And I would argue no. I'm under the camp that let's let it roll, right? Let it roll until it doesn't work. When it doesn't work and we start to get really inconsistent ups and downs, then that's the time to actually make a change in your swing. And even at that time, do we need to change everything that I talked about? Not necessarily, right? Maybe we just change the knee work, or maybe we just change a little bit of the hand path work and then see if that kind of clicks and gets him back to playing good golf, and then kind of go from there. We don't always have to change everything, especially when it comes to a pro golfer, because, you know, they're already great golfers, and it's more so about finding little tiny details here and there that if we get it to click, they start to play better, and we're trying to be, you know, as least intrusive as we possibly can. So that in mind, I want you guys, if you are struggling with your golf swing, to check out the Kiwi Coach 6-month program. We'd love to help you guys out. We think that we're one of the best when it comes to changing the look of the golf swing. So check that link out down below. While you're on the website, make sure to sign up for the membership site as well. It really helps support this channel, and you can watch the full video on the membership site. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, share all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.